Last week, I shared 4 things I like to see in every infant's bedroom. And today, I'm sharing 4 things I like to see in every toddler's bedroom. If you have a child between 2 and 5 years old, this episode is for you. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of 2. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Today, I want to talk about things that I like to see in every toddler's bedroom. So, when I say toddler, I guess for this episode, I'm talking about those 2 to 5-year-olds. And I'm going to add in one thing I really don't like to see in a toddler's bedroom. All right, let's dive in. If you listened to episode 173, where I shared what I like to see in an infant's bedroom, this one is a bit redundant, but I promise the other 3 won't be. The first item I like to see in every child's bedroom is a humidifier. I'm recording this in the winter, so I have humidifiers on my mind. Not only can a humidifier help a sick child feel a little more comfortable, they have been proven to actually prevent the flu, which is huge this time of year. I run a humidifier in all of our bedrooms every night, all winter long. If there is anything that I can do to help my children potentially avoid getting sick, I want to do it. So I recommend a humidifier in your child's bedroom all throughout the winter months. And frankly, I recommend that you put them in everyone's bedroom. In my room, I have a canopy humidifier, which admittedly is very expensive, but I have to tell you, I've had 0 signs of mold even when I don't consistently empty it every single night and I'm just constantly refilling it. I'll share a link in the show notes that will get you $10 off if you want to make that splurge. In my kids' room, I have a much less expensive humidifier, and I've had the same one in their rooms for a few years now, and I've been very happy with it. One thing I like about it is that there are no weird spots that I can't access for cleaning. So while there has been some buildup along the way, I'm able to clean it. So there's been no lasting buildup during the winter or when I'm prepping it for storing. So they are the Levoit brand. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you spell it, but I will link to their humidifiers in the show notes as well. The second item I like to see in a toddler's room is a crib until at least the age of 3 years old, ideally closer to 4. It's important to understand that young children are impulsive. In fact, the part of the brain that gives children more impulse control is not very well developed before the age of 3 years old. So when you tuck your child in and walk out of the room or they wake up in the middle of the night, their impulse very well may be that they should get right up out of bed. And if they don't have those crib sides as that boundary to remind them that they should be in their bed, that's exactly what many kids will do. While there are certainly times where we aren't able to safely keep a child under the age of 3 in their crib, if at all possible, I really, really encourage you to keep your child in the crib until at least the age of 3. Their transition to the big kid bed will be easier and smoother if you wait until you're in that 3 to 4-year-old range. And I tell you from a place of experience because I kept both of my girls in the crib until they were 4. And keeping your child in the crib will also help you avoid a lot of sleep regressions in this toddler window. If you aren't convinced you want to keep your child in the crib this long, I want to encourage you to listen to episode 167, 5 Myths About the Crib to Bed Transition. All right, the third item I like to see in every toddler's room is a toddler clock so that your child will know when it's time to get up in the morning, or I should say when it's okay to get up in the morning. A toddler clock is basically a light system that is helping your child know whether it's still time to stay in bed and be sleeping or whether it's okay to get up, either in the morning or at the end of a nap. The light will turn a specific color, often yellow or green, to let your child know that now it is okay to get up. It is 6:30 or it is the end of a nap period. So you can get up, you can call for us, you can leave the room. I always encourage parents to introduce a toddler clock to their child when they turn 2 years old, even if they are an amazing sleeper who is still in their crib. Because introducing the toddler clock when your child ideally has solid sleep habits in place, or at a minimum is still sleeping in their crib, is one of the best ways to start to prepare your child to be ready for a smooth transition into a big kid bed. The light system can really provide comfort to some kids as well because they are starting to get old enough where they can think to themselves, I'm awake. I wonder if it's time to get up. And when they have that light system, they don't need to wonder if it's time to get up. So they don't need to call for you to get that answer. Because when they roll over and they see that that light's not green yet, they'll know it's still time to be sleeping or to, at a minimum, rest in their bed. There are a lot of toddler clock systems out there. My favorite is the Hatch because you can control it from your phone, which gives you some flexibility. And that flexibility can make it much easier for us as parents to consistently follow the rule of having our child stay in their bed until the light turns green. Because we all have to follow the rule and we need to be the team captains. So that flexibility, I think, could be really helpful. If you need a pep talk on using the toddler clock because you aren't sure you want to introduce one or you have introduced one and it hasn't been working, I encourage you to listen to episode 46, The Key to Success with a Toddler Clock. All right, let's talk about the fourth item I like to see, and maybe more importantly, the one I don't like to see. This one's a combo. I really like to see blackout shades, blinds, curtains in every young child's room. And I don't recommend night lights. First, let's touch on the blackout shades. Having a way to cover the windows to make your child's room super dark can really help toddlers keep their naps longer. And I'm a big fan of young children napping because science supports it for a multitude of reasons. Check out episode 64 for more on this topic. Plus, the ability to make the bedroom super dark can help young kids fall asleep easier at bedtime in the summer when the days are longer, but their bedtimes shouldn't be later. And it can help prevent early morning wakings during those long summer days when the sun is rising long before you'd like your toddler to. You can certainly find a lot of blackout options online, but if you're not convinced it's going to help your child, I'm going to share some inexpensive Amazon blackout shades in the show notes. These you can suction onto your child's window so you can easily put them on. You can easily take them off. They're great for travel if you're heading to a beach house this summer. So inexpensive option to test out whether it helps your child keep their naps or go to sleep during the summer months or sleep in longer. Or in my case, I only use them in the summer, and we have some different blinds that my girls love that we keep exposed, so we have not invested in full blackout shades. So I'll link to that option, but there are tons of great options online. Now, let's talk about why I don't like to see night lights in a toddler's room. With any sort of nightlight, you run the risk that the light disrupts your child's sleep. It can affect how much melatonin their body produces, and as the night goes on, it can confuse the brain into thinking that the sun is rising, and it can cause middle of the night wakings or early morning wakings. So that's the number one reason I don't like night lights in a room. The second reason is because I think night lights can actually fuel a fear of the dark with young children. I'm going to elaborate on this second point a bit more because I think a lot of parents struggle here. To start, I think it's important to understand that children are not naturally afraid of the dark. A fear of the dark is a seed that gets planted along the way. Typically, the seed gets planted when children are 2.5 years or older, and it's planted by something a child hears in a book or they see in a movie or a show, or because another child at school tells them about being afraid of the dark. This is what happened with my child. Side note here, don't ever read a book to your preschooler that includes any idea of being afraid of the dark, even if the message is that they shouldn't be afraid of the dark. We don't want to plant the seed or water it. Now, let's say your child declares that they are scared of the dark. Let's play out two scenarios. In the first scenario, your child has a nightlight in their room when the seed gets planted. So little Susie at school tells your child that she's scared of the dark. And guess what validates that idea? The fact that your child has a nightlight in their room. They might think to themselves, oh my gosh, that's why I have a nightlight in the room, because the dark is scary. And then the next thing you know, they want the closet light on, the hall light on, or maybe the overhead light on. They think that they need lights on to be safe, and it's hard to convince them otherwise because they've had this nightlight. On the other hand, if little Susie at school tells your child that she's scared of the dark, and your child has always slept in the dark without a nightlight, then they may come home and declare that they're now scared of the dark as well. But you can ask them why. They will tell you that little Susie said that she's scared of the dark. And then you could say something like, oh, wow, that's such a bummer that Susie's scared of the dark because we love the dark in this house. You've always slept in the dark and you get so much great sleep. And mom and dad love the dark too because we get great sleep in the dark. Oh, I hope little Susie can learn to love the dark like we do. And now your child who's always slept in the dark gets it. They don't really have a reason to question you because it is true. They have slept in the dark and they sleep well. And as you continue to talk positively about the dark, they'll continue to pick up on that. So if you can, avoid the nightlights in the room. Okay, there you have it. 4 things I like to see in every toddler's bedroom. And 1 thing that I don't like to see. I hope you found this episode helpful, and if you know a parent who might benefit from hearing it, please send it their way. Come back again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.